Now I'm going to welcome in Erica, our resident sports betting analyst, for Easy Money with E. And things were not so easy last week, Erica. But that's the fun part about betting is NASCAR is so hard to predict that it makes betting very tough, but it makes it very fun when you cash out. So because we didn't make as much cash last week, how's that going to direct what we do this weekend?
Kim, I love your positive perspective, your positive spin on it being fun, even though we only hit one best bet. But you know what? I'm gonna internalize that. We did have one best bet to hit, but because we could have won more cash, we are gonna direct our bets in an easier way this week. I say easy, then I'm gonna jump into a parlay. What you think
Okay,
about that?
okay, let's hear it. A cross-sport parlay to kick things off for the betting weekend. What are we looking at?
We are going to take a two-leg cross-sport parlay on the Dallas Mavericks and Boston Celtics game one of the NBA Finals. And the second part of that two-leg parlay is going to be, of course, our road course race at Sonoma. So we're going to back the Dallas Mavericks to cover the 6.5-point spread. And just, word to the wise, Dallas covers the spread 59.6% of the time this season. And even Boston head coach Joe Mazzulla was like, I think Kyrie and Luka are going to be so hard to contain. So if he thinks that, I think that too. Now, on the second part of the two-leg parlay, we are going to back Chris Buescher at minus 180 to be a top 10 finisher. Chris Buescher in his last 12 road course races, Kim, he does not have a finish worse than 11. So, with that in mind, these two together, a $10 bet wins you a total of $29.70. NBA road course racing, two of my favorite things, but also remember, if you don't want to make this a parlay, you can always make these straight bets. Just know if they both hit, you won't win as much money.
I
Good
like
luck.
it. I like it. You're putting your money behind Texas. We got the Dallas Mavericks and then the Prosper, Texas native in Chris Buescher. Awesome stuff there. All right, let's focus solely on Sonoma Raceway. Let's start with your bets for Sonoma strictly.
Martin Truex Jr., I'm going to back Kim to be a top 5 finisher at minus 110. The main reason I'm going MTJ here, honestly, is because he's got 4 wins at Sonoma. Now, this is going to be a lesson in patience for me because even though he's got 4 wins at Sonoma, I am very sad, upset in my feelings about what happened last week at Gateway with MTJ. But he's proven himself. So I got to back him again in this spot. And also, I want to make sure that everyone knows to shop around because I have seen him at minus 145, minus 135. So minus 110 is actually just a slight bit of an edge there. So MTJ minus 110, top 5. Let's do it.
Okay, so that's your top 5 pick. As we broaden things, let's look at your top 10 pick for this weekend.
Gonna back Daniel Suarez in this spot at plus 120. Now, Kim, when you and I were talking earlier, you brought up a fantastic point about the weather. It is gonna be in the low 90s in Sonoma this weekend, and that is hot, hot, hot. I don't care where you're from. That's hot to me at least. So with Daniel Suarez, he actually won this race back in 2022, and that race also was hot. So with betting and with sports in general, like we know, weather always plays a part. When I like go exercising outside, if it's hotter than 70 degrees, I go back inside. How about you, Kim?
Oh, I agree. I like your thought there. We'll see what Suarez has as well as the rest of the field as it's going to be a very hot weekend in Northern California. But let's talk head-to-head matchups. These are my favorite bets. Who are we looking at being paired up this weekend at Sonoma?
I thought you might like these head to heads. My first one is Denny Hamlin versus Austin Cindric. I'm going to go with Denny Hamlin at minus 120 over Austin Cindric at plus 100. Now, you guys know I'm always all about the plus money when it makes sense. And Austin Cindric in this spot actually can make sense, but Hamlin at minus 120, the payout wouldn't be that much different if that ends up hitting. So I'm going there. And Denny is more to me about the devil that you know. Denny also is on a little bit of a hot streak himself. He's got 5 consecutive top 5 finishes on the season currently. Yeah, Austin won the race last week, the weird race last week, but I'm still going Denny in this spot. And I do have one more head to head.
Okay, let's hear it.
My second head to head is Michael McDowell versus AJ Allmendinger. And I'm going to go Michael McDowell at minus 110. And Kim, hear me out when I say this. The biggest reason I'm going Michael McDowell in this spot is because he's earned himself 3 poles this year. And to me, whether he gets the pole or just has a great starting position at Sonoma, that to me can set him up to run a really fantastic race. And I do believe that he can finish ahead of AJ, especially if he starts off really well this weekend at Sonoma.
You know, when you mentioned Michael McDowell versus AJ Allmendinger, I thought, man, this is going to be a really hard pick. But then you're reasoning about the number of front row starts we have seen from Front Row Motorsports, and Michael McDowell is a great point. And if he's able to get a good starting position, he can really dictate the race like we see at road course racing. So I like your picks there. Some great insight, Erica. Thank you so much. We're going to check in next week as the Cup Series makes its debut at Iowa. And after the break, Ryan and I have your fantasy picks.